society was stabilized through boundary dissolution. That's what I mean. The dissolution of the assumption of permanence. Me, my existence, my women, my food, my children, my weapons, my land, my this, my that, all of that is seen as a fiction. That's why primitive people are so amused by us and our concerns and our clutching, because they know easy come, easy go. And if we could learn this one thing, this is what the plants are trying to teach, I think, that the border between life and death, between being and not being, between me being me and me being you, is so trivial and so arbitrary that it can only be seen as the outer iridescence on the real reality within. This is the secret of a happy life, I think. I mean, I certainly don't claim to achieve it. I am fraught with the Agenbite of Inuit and the torments of the 42-year-old Irish male, California, heavily mortgaged soul. But I saw it. I saw what it was. And what it is it's a coming to terms with impermanence. And that gives you authenticity that nothing can take away. And courage and presence in the moment and humor and survivability. And if you hold instead to the inviolate pearl of that which cannot be destroyed, everything becomes your enemy. Time becomes your enemy. Space becomes your enemy. And you are doomed to that Ahab fate because, hey, it's bigger than any of us. You can't push the river. Well, that's just by way of summation, trying to say, what is at the pith essence of shamanism, aside from the colorful cultural forms, the dances, the feats of curing and legerdemain. Essentially it all rides, I think, on this vision that all things are impermanent, nothing lasts, all the things are in the process of coming to be and passing away unto the last syllable of recorded time. Well, that was that. Nicole, do you want to try your own summation? Or this afternoon I see basically as an opportunity for people to get their final questions answered. So if you want to make any kind of statement this morning, that would be fine.
Well, I had planned, I rather wanted to, but it doesn't follow.
It doesn't matter.
To discuss some of the medicinal plants that are available in the jungle, that are disappearing as we cut and slash and burn, and that can do so much if only people will go after them and bring them in, test them, and discover how best to use them.
Well, I think you should do that. I think it's good to go from the general to the specific. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I've mentioned several of them, but I've had some peculiar experiences myself because, in the first place, it's very difficult when you have only anecdotal reports or information on plants. You don't know quite what to believe. People exaggerate, and people get a little bit imaginative because it makes themselves more important. And then, too, I'm peculiarly subject to that because I haven't gone after things that have been medically tested, scientifically investigated. I've gone after what isn't known because, well, the others there, let the technicians take over, but the other stuff, the stuff I've been after, is still in the minds and customs of people who are rapidly disappearing, and who are losing that knowledge, and the knowledge that's kept them alive and remarkably healthy through we don't know how many millennia. So I thought, that's what I want. Now, to find out how much of it is highly elaborated report is about one of the two hardest things are to check diagnosis, which you just about can't do, and to check the truth of the reports of cures. Because we know, of course, that everything from aspirin to cocaine came originally from plants. But how many of them are just analogues of what we have? How many of the things that I learn about are merely analogues of things we already have, more conveniently available from pharmaceutical outfits? And how many do not do the things they are supposed to claim to do? And how many are real? And they're there for us, and we need them badly, and can do things that we can't do without, surgery, like the burn remedies, that even with a great deal of plastic surgery can't really be equaled in their efficiency. So the first thing I've done always is if it's in a tribe, that's easier, because you can ask different people different questions that are really the same question but asked in different ways. About, did he have white stuff on it? Of course you say it was infected. They haven't the remotest idea what you're talking about. But did it have a lot of white goo? I'm still on the subject of burns. A lot like the sap of the kapinuri on it. Well, that's pretty apt to be pus, and it's pretty apt to be, and pus means infection. You go about it that way. It's a very long and tiresome process. And then you get it from one person, then you have to get it from another, and then another, and another. And some of them will say, well, it wasn't much, and some of them will say... So you do the best you can, and set it aside as something that must be investigated. Like, I've been particularly interested in burns because it seems to me such a horrible thing to be terribly disfigured. And I noticed that you almost never see anything like that in the jungle, and yet they have a lot of fire problems. I mean, in the first place, they clear their land by slash and burning, and somebody's kid quite frequently falling into something that's on fire, or the fire in many areas are made, a stove is mud held together by 4 logs, and the fire is built on that, and the fire turns, it's very clayey soil almost everywhere in the Amazon, and that turns to adobe, and it makes a good hard surface to build a fire on. Well, I was going up the Napo with Norman Farnsworth, who is our leading pharmacognosist, and a bunch of other scientists I was taking up to a Witoto outfit, friends of mine, because they wanted a jungle expedition. And we stopped to pick up a friend of mine who is one of the most knowledgeable people I know in the area of medicinal plants, and he's a Peruvian gentleman who married, he had a wife in Lima, but he sort of went jungle. He had a charming wife in the jungle, and we got there when their 6-month-old baby had just the day before crawled into the fire, the stove on the earthen floor, the place they were living.